Welcome back, Cube Nation. Back to one of our events we love doing because we love talking about the cube and freeze drying in general. So remember here, as we talk about all these things, we're going to take some time at the end to answer any questions that you may have sent in already or that you have during the event. Don't be afraid to type in on the chat of the YouTube there. We've got people sitting, waiting to answer your questions or sending them through to me so that I can answer them. When we get to that point, we'll let you know when we start answering those questions. Today's topic is creating Valentine's treats or things surrounding Valentine's Day. So we've got all of this stuff can be done by you, unique things that nobody else is going to be giving out or eating on Valentine's Day. So we're going to talk about a few of them first. Number one, you can see up here on the cube, we've got these flowers in a pot. The pot was not dried in the cube, in the freeze dryer, but the flowers were. And I'm going to show you here some on a plate so you can see. While we're waiting for the view to change, I'll tell you these were made out of entirely just Jolly Ranchers. So we cut them in half. You can see there's green apple ones, there's grape, maybe cherry. Cut them in half and you put them in the shape that that you see them now. They're pretty light and airy. Just put them all touching each other on the cube tray and they come out looking like this. So then somebody in our office made this cute arrangement here. So imagine showing up to whoever it is you're giving your Valentine to with that. An edible arrangement of flowers that they have never seen. And if you're wondering what settings to use to make these in the cube's Candy Express Pro mode, then send in a note. We'll let you know. But the key is preheating in most candies. In fact, I think that the recipe was that you preheat it at 150 degrees for 20 minutes and then 45 minutes of freeze drying at 140 degrees. So if you missed that, go back and watch it or call in and we'll help you with that. If you have other candies that you've loved doing, by the way, share with us and we'll talk about some of those things in the future as well. The next treat that we made, I'll show you here on the table. These are all fruit roll-ups, just rolled up and kind of shaped like this. And then they were dried in the freeze dryer. So they are dry, a little bit brittle, but fun to look at, number one, and they taste great. In fact, let's see if I break off just a little bit. Yeah, they're good. You're not supposed to eat things on camera, right? Oh well, I can't help myself. So these little roses were just made by rolling up fruit roll-ups and then setting them on the trays like this. Same settings, by the way, as we did the other flowers with the Jolly Ranchers. So in case you missed that, it was preheating at 150 degrees for 20 minutes, and then 45 minutes of freeze drying at 140 degrees. That's a pretty good place to start with a lot of candies like Skittles and Mambas. Starbursts need a little more heat, but I choose they work that way. So this is a great treat to give to people, one that I guarantee they have never seen before. Okay, one other treat that you can eat or give away. We're going to show you those who may have watched last year in videos that we've made, where we did strawberries drizzled in chocolate that were freeze dried. And we're going to show you right now how they were made. Okay, welcome back. So you saw there freeze drying the strawberries, drizzling them in chocolate. So we have an event usually surrounding Mother's Day in our area that we live in. And I always take these to give out to the mothers in this event that we're part of. And others bring brownies and other treats, right? Inevitably, these freeze-dried strawberries drizzled in chocolate, they disappear very first. I can't make enough of them. I could freeze dry 8 pounds of strawberries, drizzle them in chocolate, and this group of 100 mothers or so that come by, they eat all of those first. So in case you missed it, go back in the video and watch it again. You can see how it was done. Really simple. Again, all things done in the cube freeze dryer. And because of the cube's intelligent moisture sensing technology, you just put the strawberries in, and when they're done, it sends me an alert saying, freeze dryer's done, your food is dry, and I come down, and sure enough, all the strawberries are dry. I don't have to worry about it. I pull them out, drizzle chocolate on them, go to the event. So try it. Let us know how it works for you, and go to some kind of party, Valentine's party, or maybe you're going to make them for somebody that is your Valentine. Let us know what a hit they were for you in the comments below, or email us. We love to hear about all of it. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about freeze drying for Valentine's Day is probably more of a post Valentine's Day event. We'll change the view here so you can see we freeze dried flowers. Some of them weren't so successful. And so as we've gone through this and learned that some flowers don't freeze dry very well, like these ones, but you can see they're dry. I decided to squish the one that I don't like. But wow, very pungent. This one, for example, it freeze dried very well. This is what it looked like before it went into the freeze dryer, other than it smashed a little bit. Some of these flowers, if I was a botanist, I could tell you what they were, but I make freeze dryers, so I don't know what they're called. Some of these flowers, and this, so you can see with these flowers, take the ones that you received for Valentine's Day and go out and Google freeze drying flowers. There's people that have tried it. They've learned which flowers work really well and which ones don't. The things that we've learned is that you soak the flowers in water for a while beforehand, and you can use an aerosol hairspray to spray on the petals of the flowers, and they actually keep their shape better. They still dry, and then this will keep its shape a little better and maintain its color. These ones we didn't spray with hairspray, but even still, so all of you husbands, reminder, Valentine's Day is coming up. Your wives love flowers. Even more, they're going to love freeze drying them after the fact. So again, go try it. Go tell us which flowers your husband's got you. Reminder here. Tell us which flowers your husband's got you and which ones dried really, really well. We're interested to know. We have not gotten too deep into freeze drying flowers. Admittedly, these are some of the few flowers that we've actually personally dried ourselves. So we want to know what you've done with it. All right, reminder here of if you have any comments or questions about things that we've freeze dried, type it in, send it in to us. We're watching, we'll answer questions for you in just a few minutes. This one is kind of short in what we prepared for Valentine's Day, because mostly we want you to create some Valentine's creations, candy, flowers, fruit, all of these things, and we want to know what you did. So come back to the live event, put in the comments below, tell us what you did, send in to support@p4lfood.com. Let us know some of the things you did, or go on our website and chat with us. Tell us the things that were big hits with your family, with your friends, and especially with your Valentine. Reminder again, husbands, Valentine's Day is coming up in 10 days. I'm going to be the one that forgets after all this. All right. Next week, 2 weeks from today, our live event is going to be featuring one of our partners, and we're excited about this. We've been talking to some of our partners that you guys watch, and they have been preparing chilies that they're freeze drying, they're rehydrating, some of their recipes, their favorite things that they're going to share with you and with us. But in 2 weeks from today, one of our partners we're going to have on with us talking about how they have used the cube, number one, to make their chili or ingredients, and then freeze dry it, and what it's like afterwards. And I believe that that recipe is going to be shared with us so we can give it to you, Cube Nation, on our recipes blog. So come back in 2 weeks on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 3:30 Eastern Time. All right, let's go to our questions time. Let me check and see what we have here. Okay, one question that we had was back to the flowers. Most of the time when you dry flowers, people hang them upside down, right? I'm not an expert in drying flowers in any way or form. However, in this case, what we've learned is that you just soak them in water in whatever form you want to dry them. So like the one who dried these, she said that she probably would have cut the stem off and let the blossom sit right on the tray so that it was open like that and dried. As you can see, it's pretty fragile, so be careful with it in whatever purpose you have for your flowers. And part of the question was, are the stems fully dry? Let me show you. Yep, the stems are completely dry. What's more is that this process was really, really fast. Even though the flowers are soaked in water, all that water is on the outside and there isn't a lot of water inside. Plus there's lots of surface area for the water to come out of the flowers. So the process happened really fast. In fact, I think it was less than 12 hours that these dried. Okay, the question came in, how do you get the flowers to fit in the shelf? Just so happens, maybe you can see in here, I have our 2-shelf system inside the freeze dryer right now. So that's a lot more space. In fact, that's the space of 2 shelves normally in one. So we can stack things a lot higher. And in fact, while we're making some of these flowers with the Jolly Ranchers, that helps too, so that these don't stick to the shelf above it. So go on our website or call us and find out. You can get the 2-shelf system. It's just unplugs and plugs back in, the same as whatever shelf you have, 4 or 5. They're all interchangeable. And those who want to really get into freeze drying flowers, this probably would be a good idea. Or some of these candies that really blow up big. For all of those of you who have tried freeze drying milk duds that get really, really big, or other caramels, and then find that the caramel is stuck to the shelf above, this 2-shelf system might actually be a real assistance to you in not having to clean up as much later. So, excellent question. While we're talking about that, we offer the 2, 4, and 5 shelf systems, and it all depends on what things you're freeze drying. If you're doing a lot of thin foods or all things about the same all of the time, the 5-shelf system might actually work really well for you. If you want the variety of foods and the expandability, remember we've talked about our expansion racks before, the expandability to do 8 layers of food, then use the 4-shelf system. Or if you're doing lots of crazy things that grow really big or that start big, use the 2-shelf system. That's the glory of how we've designed the cube and the shelves that go in it. They're all interchangeable. You can have any or all of them and use them at any time. They all plug in just the same. So let's go on and see what else we have here. Oh, the question was, why did we cut the Jolly Ranchers in half to make these flowers? Because if we didn't, they would have been twice that size or more, and then they wouldn't have come out looking like flowers. They'd have looked like baseballs all stuck together instead. That's why we cut them in half. And you'll find that there are some candies that you want to do that with also. High chews, we always cut them in half, because if you do a whole high chew, then it's too big to eat. So we cut them in half for that reason. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. We need the Jeopardy music going. Let's ask our team if we can get the rights to use the Jeopardy music. Okay, there was a question on the price of the 2-shelf system. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head, but all the shelves are the same amount, whether it's the 5, the 4, or the 2, because they all use basically the same materials. So if you just go on our website and search for shelf in the search bar, you'll find it there, and you'll be able to purchase it then. If you have problems, give us a call. We'll help you out. Okay, let's see what we've got now. Oh, my team told me it's about $350 each shelf system. It's a good thing they told me, because I was going to say it was something like $900, which is outlandish. So $350 for a new shelf system, regardless of the number of shelves. All right. Question was, can the moisture sensor detect the moisture coming out of the flowers? The answer is yes. The moisture sensor can detect moisture coming out of anything as long as there's enough of it. So that's one of the reasons we soak the flowers, so there is moisture to come out of it, and also to help them maintain their color. But yes, the moisture sensor will sense any moisture coming out. I know that some of you have asked why in some cases it seems like the moisture sensor isn't working like you think it's supposed to. Most of the time, the answer has been there's too much food, and we've shared videos about that, the ice overload. Go find it on our YouTube channel. It isn't, and that extends the process a long time. So it isn't the moisture sensor that isn't working in that case, it's the amount of ice. The moisture sensor always is working in the background. If it's not, you'll get errors on your screen, and then contact us and we'll help you. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, give us a call and we will help you with it. All right, let's check one last time here for any questions. Oh, yeah, a question about moisture sensor and candy. Because candy doesn't really have a lot of moisture. In fact, the Jolly Ranchers have very little, right? Candy Express and Candy Express Pro mode don't actually use the moisture sensor. It's all heat and time. In the Pro mode, it's set by you based on whichever candy you're doing and how you learn which candies will use what heats and all of that. If there's candies that have a lot of water in them, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, then yes, the moisture sensor will pay attention to it, but the Candy Express mode does not. It is set by you, and that allows you to determine just how much. For example, these Jolly Ranchers, if you don't preheat them, they won't get this big. If you preheat them for just a little bit shorter time, they'll still blow up, but just not quite as much. And it's all preference. So play with it and let us know what your successes are with candies. Last reminder here, husbands, 10 days to do Valentines. Maybe you should freeze dry some of these things, and you can hand your wife some of these flowers and she'll love them just as much. Cube Nation, it's been nice to spend another evening with you. 2 weeks from today in the afternoon, remember, we're highlighting one of our partners and their successes with the freeze dryer. We're going to interview them and find out what it is they love about the Cube. Come back and see us then.